What's happening, everybody? My name is Ernell Pearson, and once again, you might know me from a little thing known as the Good Kraken podcast. What we might not know is that I'm the vocalist for a little metalcore band called Drift Away. Now that the introduction's over, let's get right into the good stuff that you guys came here for. Today, we have a brand new Paramore song. So here's the deal, okay? I've known about Paramore. I've listened to Paramore a lot since like 2005 when I first found this band. I was very fortunate enough to see Hayley Williams perform along with Paramore way back in like 2008 or some ridiculous time like that. Back when Hayley Williams had way more of an unorthodox voice, an unorthodox singing style. And I mean, she still has an unorthodox singing voice, but she's grown a lot as a musician. She's grown a lot as a singer. And it's been great over the years to be able to get a chance to watch that growth over time. And I'm really excited to dive into this, mostly because the last few albums that Paramore's put out, I have not really been that big of a fan of. So it's going to be really interesting to kind of see what they're doing now in contrast to their older stuff, in contrast to their kind of relatively more recent albums, as well as in contrast to the last single that they put out, which was only a couple weeks ago, that I actually was not a crazy fan of. It was way more jazz funky than I prefer my Paramore to be, as you can say. Anyways, let's get right into the fun here, and I'm not going to hold you guys any longer. You guys were awesome in the last video. Thank you so much for coming in and hanging out with me. It was so much fun. I can't wait to make more of these videos as we go along, and you guys have put in some great input, all my friends, family, the new friends that we're making here at the channel now, here at Ocean Shrine, and I can't wait to hear more of your guys' input as we go along. So please keep it coming in. Comment down below. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Let me know how you guys are feeling, and I can't wait to do so many more of these with you guys. But without any further ado, let's jump right into the music video here. This is Paramore, The News. Oh, we're getting right into it. Dead? That beat goes dumb. I'm not gonna try to pretend I'm good at drums. Okay. Okay, so let's take a second here, all right? So firstly, I want to say the music video looks fucking cool. This is a really, really cool music video. Paramore's obviously, you know, kind of figured out the budget that they want to go into, like, their music video creativity and stuff like that. I'm hearing some of the lyrics are very loosely talking about some stuff that has to do with, like, media control. It's kind of what I'm hearing here. And how people kind of really rely on the news, and they really rely on their media consumption to sort of be their life and their filter here. And I'll dive into a little bit further later when we get into the lyrics, but I'm kind of picking up the vibe that they're going for here. She's dead. I'm assuming giving like the weird, like, I guess, hypothetical or example of being brain dead because you're watching the news or being consumed by the news, things like that. I'm interested to kind of see where they go further with the video, but the music itself is still giving that funk vibe that I wasn't crazy fond of in the last song. Hayley sounds phenomenal in this. She's got a couple of parts where she does this like squeaky, almost not necessarily a falsetto, but it's definitely a higher register that she's doing there. A couple of these little squeaky notes there to kind of like get that emphasis on that note. But her melodies never fail. Her melodies never, ever, ever, ever fail. If there's one thing about Paramore that's always been consistent, it's that. Her melody is on par here. It's catchy. It hooked me in. Having the song kick right off, like that was a really, really good choice. But the chorus was super catchy, and I think the melody definitely made it what it was for me. Typically for a song like this, I normally be like, yeah, it's not really quite for me, but that chorus has me sucked in wanting to commit a little bit more to watching and listening to the rest of this. So let's go ahead and dive right back into it, guys.
Far, so far from the front line, quite the opposite, I'm safe inside.
Well, that's cool, that was really cool.
But I worry and I give money and I feel useless behind this computer, and that's just barely scratched the surface of my mind. So
The director for this video is going the fuck off, though, I'll tell you what. Chorus again. That 70s look. Oh, I thought that was like blood on her teeth. It's just a grill. She's got a red grill.
We called it normal. Every second a collective heart breaks. All together every single head shakes. Shut your eyes but it won't go away. Every second a collective heart breaks. All together every single head shakes. Shut your eyes but it won't go away.
All right, guys, that was it. We're there, and I kind of just let the rest of that song play out for us, so that we won't have to stop there, because I know those kind of songs that kind of carry the rest of the way there. So it got more interesting, that's for sure. That bridge was really different. That sort of like talked, sort of like more like a ranting type of bridge there was a really, really interesting creative choice. I think that the chorus definitely is like the focus when it comes to songs like this, when we look at things like pop music, so to speak. The chorus is obviously the bread and butter, right? And they kind of build things off from there. They did a really good job of sort of taking that chorus, getting the emphasis down, making the catchy melody, and letting the rest of the song sort of build off of that catchy melody there. What I'm going to do really quick is go ahead and get us some lyrics here, so that we don't have to take too long there. We can talk a little bit about some of the wording here. So we have the news, some of the main stuff in the first verse. A war on the far side, on the other side of the planet, and I've got a war right behind my eyes, right behind them, just like a headache. So that, I think that was giving off the premise there of having that struggle between like watching what's going on the far or other side of the planet when it comes to watching the news and being consumed with like what's going on in the world and being sucked into I think the negativity that we seem to get on social media and like watching the news and reading the news on our phones and stuff, when it's literally a click away on this little computer that's in our pocket at all times, that can probably feel really exhausting. And I think that that's kind of what she's talking about here, where it feels like a chore. It feels like a weight on your chest to have to constantly be keeping up with all the terrible things that are happening in this world. And it sounds like Haley's kind of talking a little bit about like feeling that weight being like spinning in your head at all times, because she talks about in the bridge there, exploitative, performative, informative, and we don't know the half of it, rhetorical, deplorable, historical, and all along we called it normal. So it's like, it goes to show that, like, you know, we all know this. The news is a very interesting ordeal, especially when we use it as a tool for political climate, right? And, you know, I'm not going to get into the whole nitty gritty of that stuff because it's honestly, it's just not connective here. But when it comes to that emphasis and how we consume media and how we consume the news and stuff, I like the direction that she's going with this. So she's not necessarily saying that, like, the news is bad or that, like, consuming media is bad for us in that sense. She's more so angling it in the sense of, like, we have a responsibility to sort of focusing on our health and how we interact with the news, and how unhealthy it can be when we become very obsessive with the horrible things that are going on in the world. And trust me, like, I've been very much a victim of doing that to myself. So I'm not going to sit here and try to say like I'm innocent, but she definitely has a point. In the end of the song, she says, every second a collective heart breaks, all together every single head shakes. Shut your eyes, but it won't go away. Turn on, turn off the news. And I think that perfectly encapsulates what exactly she's trying to say here, as far as, like, we can't get away with it, or we can't get away from it, excuse me, and that sucks. That really, really sucks. And we try to, like, shake it off and not think about it and not think about these terrible things that happen in this world, but we also at the same time try to convince ourselves that, like, it's necessary. It's a necessary sin. And that's such a great viewpoint to have when it comes to talking about it in a song. So anyways, guys, thank you again for coming in and hanging out with us. Please comment down below how you feel about this song. Let me know how you felt about my reactions to it. Let me know if you think that my sort of consensus of what she talks about in the song is correct. If you do actually know the background, you heard it from Haley in an interview or something like that, please comment down below in the comments and let me know whether or not I'm actually looking at this from the correct angle. I love to know this stuff. So again, guys, thank you so much, and I'm gonna get on out of here and leave you guys alone so I can do some other stuff like eat dinner and take care of my child and, you know, all the other wonderful things that I like to do in this world. But until next time, my friends, I love you.